isn't this a video that's going to ruffle some feathers? Hit the subscribe button, grab a seat, and get ready for a good review. Okay guys, I'm going to start this video by just explaining the usual things. In no way, shape or form am I sponsored, affiliated, associated or anything with this company, thank God. We're going to get into a review now. If you think this is going to be one of those 3-minute reviews that says how great something is and doesn't weigh up the cons, then this isn't going to be the video for you. However, if you're interested in a video that's going to teach you to save some money on a kayak, then this is for you. Grab yourself some popcorn, a nice cold beer, because you're going to need it for this one. And we're going to get into showing you right through this particular kayak. Now this kayak, we're not going to name the company that supplies them, but let's just say they supply kayaks to fish out of. So with a kayak that represents a name such as an Orca, which is obviously another name for killer whale, you'd expect by purchasing this particular kayak, you're going to have a whale of a time. And sure you might, but I'm going to tell you why that whale of a time can become less fun. So we're going to get the boring stuff out the way first, which in this kayak's case is the pros. So the pros of this kayak. We pop this hatch open and you can see here we've got an exceptionally generous storage facility there. Okay, now this is something that you've seen on some of your better brands like your Hobies and so forth, especially in the Pro Angler range. And it's a fantastic storage bin. Now, we're going to leave that open because we're coming back to that. As I said, we're at the boring part, which is the pros. We've got a nice drive system here, which is the pedal drive system, something like what you've seen on the native watercrafts in the past. Okay, this is stupidly heavily duty built. Okay, it is very heavy duty. Nothing's breaking there. We then step back to your seat. We've got a seat here that has got that much padding on it and is that solid it's not funny. It is actually a great feature. We've got 2 other hatches front and back there which are okay. We've got flush mounted rod holders and then that's where it stops. But why does it stop? So let's start from up the front again. We go to that beautiful generous hatch. Now the problem with a kayak that spends its life in the water is water ingress is not good. In fact, it's paramount you don't have it. So I ask, with such a big cavity, a big open cavity, why is there nothing to seal this cavity? You've got absolutely nothing to seal around the whole tub. You've got nothing around the inside of your lid here to seal it. There's absolutely nothing. So when we were surf launching the other day in it, we had a lot of water ingress come through this front hatch. And for an open water kayak, not good enough. We'll shut that up. I thought I'd start off with a small con because now I'm going to get to the big one. If you think you're going to go down to a showroom factory like this particular fishing kayak brand boasts, you're wrong. You're going to rock up to a warehouse in Bibra Lake. You're going to get pellet racking, kayaks all wrapped up in wrapping, and that's it. Don't expect them to unwrap it because they're probably not going to do that. And don't expect to be driving home with your Orca with a pedal drive. That's right. Don't expect to be taking this baby home with you because they're going to post that out to you. They told us a week wait. 7 days later, we'd heard nothing. 14 days, nothing. 21 days, we got suspicious, so we called them. To which it got explained to me that only on the 21st day, which happened to be the day that I contacted them, they'd realised that it was lost in post. Now, they weren't going to call me. They weren't going to let me know via email. There was no communication intention on their behalf to tell me that that drive was no longer coming to me. Lucky I pointed it out to them, wasn't it? So with a bit of a rocket up their backside, we had this one here posted out to us, and we got it a month and a half after the purchase. Now, this drive was worth waiting for. It is a good drive, I'm going to give it that. However, the system that it locks into is nothing shy of clunky. You'll see that the drive here is a direct copy of something you'd see, as I mentioned earlier, from native watercraft. but don't think you're getting native watercraft quality, because you're simply not. Okay, the native watercraft pivot system on the pedal drive is far superior to what this is. This is a very clunky system to put in and out. But keep in mind, and let's say this straight, you're saving thousands of dollars by buying something like this. Let's move further on into the kayak. We're going to come down to the seat. Come on, come and have a look at this. So we're talking a system that is on rails. Rails and a seat that needs to be square. The rear is perfect. We've got perfectly lined up rails and perfectly lined up mounts. But let's have a look at how far the front is. Just a little minor, isn't it? Nah, that's a long way out. One side's almost spot on. The other side is so far out, it's not funny. Now, let's talk about steering. Probably one of the most vital things when you're using a pedal kayak is good quality steering. Steering enables you to turn. Hello. But when you're using your feet here on your pedals, the only way of steering is by hand with that particular control there. And as you'll notice straight away, oh look, -2 stainless screws. Brilliant. We took the kayak out, and within 30 seconds of having the kayak in the water, we had 2 rudder lines break. Now, it wasn't due to tension at all. That was due to sharp burrs on the steering system itself. It's severed VB cord. Now, we know how tough that can be. I can anchor a kayak with VB cord, so you can imagine how sharp it was in there. To start off with as well, the steering wasn't even set up on the rear. We had to set that all up ourselves. So we had a half installed steering system at the front and a not installed at all on the back. The flush mount rod holders are something that I think is vital to every kayak, and it's something that sets every kayak off. However, in this case, it was installed by a bunch of penguins. No, actually, hold on, stop that. I'm sorry. That's rude. I'm gonna get in trouble. I should never insult penguins like that at all, because they've got a bigger brain capacity than the idiots who installed these. Why? Why am I being so critical? Well, let's have a look, shall we? We've got one here that's been perfectly flush mounted. I think we'll agree. We'll step down to this back one here. Uh-oh, we're starting to get off center. We'll go around to the one over the other side. What have we got here? We're getting closer to the edge, and let's go to my favorite one. Look at that. It's not even mounted properly. It's off the edge. What is going on? We've got a rudder system here with the release on the side here that's got enough cord to retrieve your 4-wheel drive from a bad bog in the Pilbara. Okay, what is all the excess cord needed for? It simply isn't. We've got stainless steel hardware on this whole kayak that I actually question if it really is stainless, because it's rusting. I'm not joking. We got stainless steel screws on this thing that is rusting. After we severed the cord inside the steering, we had to take the steering apart. Now, we're talking inside this steering handle down here. It has componentry that's vital to stay sand free, to stay water free, and just like its competitors, we would have expected some watertight little housing in there, but lo and behold, we take it off, chock-a-block full of sand, chock-a-block full of salt water, because it's simply not sealed. Now, when this kayak is intended for open water use, once again, beach launching, you're gonna have wash. And that's what we had, except it got into the stuff that we didn't want it in. We've got hatches here that may have solid rings, not waterproof at all. Don't trust it with it. I mean, you can see all the water in here anyway. A nice generous back hatch. I agree. The overall quality of the finish on the kayak, you'd call it standard. You wouldn't go further than that. Now, you may think that I've released this video today just to bitch and a moan, and you're thinking, well, have you actually approached the company? Well, yes, you have. I explained our problems with the kayak, and I got the most unsympathetic response I've ever had in my life, which is pretty much, not our problem, not going to deal with it, stiff shit. Now, there was a good email trail, which I've got. It proves how cooperative our kayak to fish style company was, which was not at all. And we are now left with a kayak that I believe isn't even fit for the Australian market. I'm not joking, guys, when I say this. Buy once, cry once. Buy right the first time. Don't settle for an inferior knockoff, because unless you're just a weekend warrior who's planning to go out and paddle around the local lake or maybe even in your pool, then you're not going to be impressed with this. This is in no way, shape or form a serious fishing weapon. It is not a kayak that can be fished cooperatively in tournaments. It's not a kayak that I would trust even my children or anyone I know on, okay? Now, you may have a similar kayak that you think is the duck's nuts, and that's fine. This is a review on this particular kayak that we have purchased. I'm going to wrap it up like this. If I had my time again, would I purchase this kayak? No hope in hell. Not a chance. You wouldn't even get me considering putting my money anywhere near this particular kayak again. I'm sorry for the controversial review, except I hope it helps you make a better and more educated decision when you are in the position we were in. All right, guys, once again, hit the subscribe button if you found this at all helpful. The next review on one of the other kayaks we've just purchased is certainly one that you're going to want to hang around for. It's a ripper. Get onto it, stay tuned, happy fishing, and we're going to catch you in the next episode. See you later.